All right. So where did our family come from?
The Italian side came from Schio, Italy, on my grandfather. Grandfather was Florindo Ferdinando Casarotti. And he came to this country in 1901. On my mother's side, they came from Switzerland. And they arrived in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia in 1750. All right? Now, next, that what you need?
Yeah. And then how do you know? Did they like tell you or something?
Yes, I knew from speaking to my father about my grandfather, okay? My grandmother on the Casarotti side is very big. We do not really know much about her, okay? All right, and on my mother's side, it's written, and I have the book which traces their ancestry back to 1750 when they came to the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia.
All right.
Okay.
And
Good.
all right. So how many generations can you trace back from your parents, and can you recall their names or where they were born and their birthdays?
Only thing I can go to is my grandfather Casarotti. Like I say, he came to the United States in 1901. And like I said before, my grandmother on the Casarotti side, we really don't know when she really got to the United States. On my mother's side, like I say, she is, her ancestry goes all the way back to 1750, and their name, when they came to this country, was the Hottle, Hottel, and his name was John Hottle. And then, of course, they've been in the valley for that long, since 1750. That's the best I can do on that, okay?
Yeah.
On the Casarotti side, granddaddy's name was Florindo Ferdinando Casarotti. And my grandmother on the Casarotti name, on side, her name was Margaret Bozzo, Bozzo. Good enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any veterans in our family?
None living.
Well, like, who? So, if like no, the ones who aren't living, like, where did they serve, and like where, like?
Well, really, it started with the Civil War. His name was Jacob Henry Roots. He was a veteran, but he died in the hospital in Jackson, Mississippi. Well, I have an uncle on my mother's side. That was on my mother's side, and another one on my mother's side was okay, take on, I can't think of it, but he was killed in the Argonne Forest in World War I. His last name was Sparks. Last name was Sparks. Okay, I don't know his first name. And then my uncle, who was my father's brother, was killed in France in 1944. And he was in the army. That was in the Second World War.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Can you tell me any stories about our family that you might find like interesting or something like that?
Well, let's see. I go to the Casarotti side. Let me go to my mother's side. My grandfather on my mother's side, his name was David Rutz, R-U-T-C. He was a railroad conductor, and he ran he worked for the Southern Railroad, and he had a run from Washington D.C. to Lynchburg, Virginia, and that's that's about what I can do on him. He liked to hunt, and he liked to fish. And I guess that's where my part of that comes from. My grandfather on Casarotti side, he played the piccolo for the town front band in Front Royal. And he came to Front Royal along with his children, which were 3 sons, and his wife in 1914, and he immediately joined the town band. My father, who was your great-great-grandfather, was a baseball player. And he played for the town team, which were adults, when he was 13 years old. He caught. He was a catcher. He caught all through high school, and he was asked to go to Randolph-Macon Academy, which is in Front Royal, which was a military school, to play baseball on a postgraduate type arrangement. But he's told them he did not have the money to go. And they said, well, this is all hearsay. They said, well, we don't have a baseball scholarship, but just hold on. So anyway, they gave him a football scholarship to play baseball. And Granddaddy, my grandfather, his father, got killed in an automobile accident. He was hit by a car in 1931, so my father had to drop out to support the family. So let's see. That's it. You've got an uncle that plays the guitar very well.
Yeah.
And but let's see. I think that's about it on that. That good enough stories?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the last question, do we have any genealogical records? And like, if so, where are they?
I don't know what that means. What genealogy? I've gone over all that. The genealogy record is from my mother's side, who was a Rutz, which goes back to the Hobble family that came to the Shenandoah Valley in 1750. I have a book on that that's probably 2 inches thick of the descendants of John Hobble. And that takes you all the way, it takes you up to about, from 1750 to about 1927 is where it takes you to. There is some other volumes out now of this book, but I do not have them. I didn't buy them. I bought this one, and that's where that's the best I got on the genealogy. As far as the Casarotti side, Granddaddy got here in 1901, and he walked through Ellis Island, and I've been to Ellis Island, and I hope I stepped in his footprints. But that's about, that's it. We don't know anything else. Oh, he was a loom fixer. The loom is what you weave fabrics on, and they had a silk mill in Front Royal, Virginia, and that's where he came to work from. Well, he lived in Hoboken, New Jersey for a while. Then they came to Front Royal, and he was the loom fixer at that silk mill. Oh, that's about it. That's all I can do about the genealogy.
I mean,
There's not a whole lot been said about that.
yeah. Well, that wraps it up. So thank you for your time. And
All right, I had to figure out how to get on here with you.
hey,
I forgot I hadn't seen it so long.
yeah.
All right, bud.
All right.
Hope you get a good grade on it.